Alrighty, then. Alrighty. Alright. Today is Sunday, September 18th, 2016. This is Daily Reflections. I hope you all can join us. We're going live right now. Hey everybody, this is Jeffrey Jansen. This is Sunday, September 18th, 2016. This is Daily Reflections. I'm glad you could all join us. I'm going to give everybody a second to get on because I had run a little late. I was on a different call a little bit ago that was important to me to be on. Anyway, hope everybody had a great weekend this weekend. Hope everybody's doing outstanding. I need a shave tomorrow. Alright, what is Daily Reflections? While we're waiting on everybody to get on, I'll give you just a little update on what Daily Reflection is while we're waiting for everybody to get on. Daily Reflection is basically going over the normal things every day that matter. So, we have so much negativity out there on all the social media, on TV, in our everyday lives, that sometimes that we need something that's not religious, something that's not trying to coerce us. We just need some positive reinforcement. And this is kind of what that is. This is positive reinforcement. It lets us know what's important, why things are important. It lets us know who our mentors are. It lets us know things that we grew up believing, and to this day we still believe in, but we feel that we've gotten away from. And that's what this is all about. And, there's a lot of times that this was my daughter's idea a while back. And I promised her I'd keep it going and I'd keep up with it. And it also, so I do it for her. And there's several times I can say, well, I don't want to do it, or, maybe not tonight. But then that's basically giving up. And so the whole point of this is to reach out to those that need a little guidance, that, church doesn't just do it for them, or that they don't understand what's going on, or they just need some positive feedback. People that have terminal illnesses, people that have lost people. I have a tendency, I focus on our men and women in uniform, our military men and women, stuff like that. And I also focus on parents and single parents and parents that are together, but also the domestic partners of people, to make sure that we understand what's important and everything else. So as we go live tonight, I also go over things that my daughter and I do. Some people say, well, that should be private between... Trust me, 99% of everything my daughter and I do is private. It's nobody's business. But I do like to let people know what's going on. Yes, I do put her on here every once in a while. In fact, tonight we just finished up Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. You know what I love most about this book? I mean, it's a Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, first of all. Who cannot like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? But when they made the new one with Johnny Depp, I'm just talking right now while I'm waiting everybody to get on. So if everybody's thinking, no, I haven't started yet, I'm just kind of going over, I'm just kind of talking right now. But when Johnny Depp did it, here's just it. We couldn't figure out different things that happened at the end, because you notice at the end everybody was in the factory and the house was in the factory and the grandparents, they were all sitting down for a meal and everything, but they kind of got away from the main storyline. Well, and Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator learned that the factory is much bigger, and that the chocolate and the forest of candy and stuff was just a small little smidgen. It's just nice to have those imaginations back. Okay, I think we've gave everybody enough time to get on and everything else, and so I will begin. My name is Jeffrey Jansen. I am from Quincy, Illinois, and I do these almost every single night around 9 o'clock, 9:30 sometimes, and if it's on a Wednesday or sometimes Sunday, I'll do them at 8 o'clock. And what we need to keep in mind is the things that are important. And the first thing I like to always bring up is our men and women in uniform, our military men and women, and how important they are to us. And how important they are, whether you believe in whatever country they're in is right or wrong, that's not the point. Okay, these men and women, they volunteered. During Vietnam, Korea, World War II, they had the draft. They didn't have the opportunity of volunteering for their services. Now, when we say volunteer, what does that mean? That means they're willing to give their life, their blood, their limbs to better their life. To me, those are the most motivating people in the world. It doesn't matter what their personalities are. It doesn't matter their religion, their race, their color. The fact is they're doing something that 98% of the population refuses to do or is too scared to do or doesn't want to do. I can't tell you how many times in life everybody told me, well, I was going to join the Marine Corps, but my ASVAB was bad, or I was going to join the Marine Corps, but I had scoliosis in the back, or I had fallen arch. They give every excuse in the world. To me, the men and women in uniform never gave the excuse. They went, did their job, came back home, and they're here today. And to me, that's heroic, okay? The other thing are police officers. Why are police officers? Now, we can sit there and say they're heroes, but why are they heroes? We always forget the why. And this is the reason why I think police officers are heroes. First off, they are underpaid. Okay? They work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, that does not mean one person's working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That means they rotate shifts and everything else. But they only represent 0.5% of the population. There's only about, 800,000 police officers in the United States? And there's 355 million. And these men and women in uniform, okay, they have families at home. They have friends. They went to college. They got college buddies. Some of my Marine Corps buddies are cops to this day, okay? And we sit there and they're heroes because of what they represent, what they do. It's kind of like our flag, all right? And I understand people have the freedom to do what they want with their flag, but it's the representation of that flag. It's the representation of the men and women in military, okay? Yes, there are people out there that are going to soil the good name of what they represent. But the fact is, that's only 1%. So 1% of 1%, that's only a few. We cannot judge people based on the few stupid decisions that some people made. That's like me judging every single football player off of Michael Vick who beat and abused animals. Or how about the other football players or gang members going around shooting people? Or how about all the football players that are felons? That does not make every single football player a felon or an animal abuser or a woman abuser. Or, what it does is it shows contrast to say, look, if you are sitting there trying to blame and trying to make a representation of something, look at yourself first and look at the people around you. If you want to be judged based on the few, not the many, then keep it up. So, to me, police officers are heroes. Now, who else are heroes? Firefighters. Why are firefighters? Oh my gosh, growing up as a kid, how could you not think of a firefighter as a hero? These men and women go into burning buildings. They go in and they help in the catastrophes. They have to be medics, doctors, nurses all at the same time. They have to be able to give counseling. Firefighters, they're just wonderful, wonderful people. But I don't ever think they get enough acknowledgement anymore. I love the big trucks. The older ones are even better. But it's not about the truck either. It's about why they do it and who they are. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Once again, underpaid. A lot of firefighters in the smaller towns are volunteer firefighters. So they're not even getting paid. The other one's nurses. We never give enough credit to our nurses out there who every day go to the hospitals, go to the nursing homes. They go out there every day and they have to live with the emotion of helping the sick, helping the needy. They have a conscience. They have families at home themselves. They themselves are sick while helping us. So to me, nurses are heroes also. We must remember why. Not because, they're nurses, they're automatically. No, it's for what they do, knowing what can happen. So they go into a job every day knowing it's going to be emotional, knowing that people are going to die, knowing people are going to have gunshot wounds, knowing that kids are going to have sicknesses and germs and diseases. But every day they still do that. And they do it. Now, some people might have gone into it because they thought they're going to make good money. But in the end, the nurses, every single nurse I know, it's about the people. And they would never change their profession because their profession is they get to help people. Police officers, you can sit there and beat them up as much as you want, badger them and everything else. But in the end, it's about helping people. It's about enforcing our laws and living with law and order in our lifetime in this chaos that we have all the negativity. Firefighters. My gosh, you could not, I mean, they save people. All right, and our emergency medical technicians and stuff. That's the reason why these people are heroes, and that's what I like to tell everybody. Now let's get down to the fact of the 22 men and women in military that are killing each other or killing themselves every day because they don't think anybody cares about them. They don't think they matter. They don't think their problems are good enough. Look, get out there and be nice to people. Get out there and be kind to people. Go shake a vet's hand. Go shake an active duty person's hand. Okay? But most of all, just do what is best for people. Just be nice, be kind, be positive. Even if you're in a bad mood, fake the funk. Fake the funk. Go out there and be kind. Because in the end, you're going to find out that that person that was not having a good day, that you thought were in a bad mood, and oh my gosh, you're going to do this, this, and this person's all bad. What you're going to find out is something bad may have been happening to them. Life is hard. And a lot of us hide our emotions. We put up walls. We put up barriers. And let's just get away from the military. Let's anybody in general. We're so quick to judge somebody by their first reaction, the first moment. But what we don't know is they've been kicked so many times that they're scared. A friend of mine, Ray and Gloria Wilson. I probably shouldn't say people's names. Which, two of the greatest people I know. They have a dog at home, and as a savior, he was a rescue, I believe. And he is a beautiful dog. But he's been kicked, he was abused or something happened to him to where he no longer relates with people too well. His trust is just not there. Greatest dog in the world. Now, why do I say that? Because humans are the same way. But sometimes we need people to rescue those that are hurting. Okay? We need to quit kicking people when they're down. We need to quit judging people by their profession. We need to quit evaluating people based on anything other than their character. I know some people that do not smile. They act like they do not give a care about life. But you want to know something? They're the first person to volunteer for something, to get something done. They get it done right the first time. Just because they're not smiling doesn't mean they don't care. And sometimes we judge people based on if they're smiling. Or how about those people out there is like, oh, that person's just too happy. To me, there's no such thing as too happy. They're too giddy. They're too full of life. Oh my gosh, let's be negative to this person. Good. You want to know something? I'd rather be around that person than the person that's being negative about that person. And I'm seriously, I bet you every single person out there that's on this right now, and every person has run into that person like, oh my gosh, you're just so chipper. Oh my gosh, this person will never shut up. He's just always up on life. Oh my God, he just loves life so much. Yeah, those are the best people to be around because you know what? Instead of closing your mind to those people that are doing great things, look at what they're doing and look why they're doing it. What you might not see is that person that's happy every single day and coming around talking to you, they're actually happy to talk to you because when they go home at night, they're alone. They're by themselves. They're so happy to be around people. They're so happy to do good for people. But when they go home at night, there's nobody there for them. When they go home, there's nobody to tell them that they love them. There's nobody there to give them a hug and say, hey, everything's going to be okay. But we judged them because they were happy, because they were legitly happy to be around people. They were legitly happy to be part of something more than themselves. And they do it because it's the only gratification they get in their life because that they keep their head above water. And those people sometimes are stronger than those that are out there every day thinking they're better than everybody. Nobody's better than everybody. The other thing we need to touch on is those that have terminal illnesses. Those that have lived life to the fullest, but for some reason they're being called home early, or they are being put and sometimes we may look at they're the ones going through the trial. Have you ever thought that it's us that's being put on trial to watch them? I watched my mom die of cancer within 3 months. I blamed everybody. And I acted out on it. I won't lie, I acted out on it. But what I think was, it's not the fact that she died from a terminal illness. It's the fact that I was being tested to see how I would react and adapt to the illness of somebody I loved. And those of you that have lost loved ones, think about it. When your loved one is gone, we must celebrate their life. But that person, there's no more say. So if we're judging because they died, then we're no longer living our own life. Yet we are here to celebrate theirs and continue on with ours and learn from their mistakes, learn from their happiness, and move forward. God gave us feet going forward because that's the only direction to go. If you go backwards, so many people reflect. I've run into so many people that the only reflections are high school or grade school. Why can't you do something? Why don't you go and work at a soup kitchen? Why don't you go volunteer at a hospital? Why don't you become a auxiliary police officer? If you're so against police and everything because you don't know what they do, why don't you become an auxiliary police officer? They're always looking for volunteers. Before you judge somebody, why don't you put yourself in the shoes of the person that you're judging? Before you sit there and deem everybody a criminal because they don't look the same as you, they don't act the same as you, why don't you put yourself in their shoes first and see if you can handle their burdens? Because we don't know their burdens. We don't know why they do what they do. And most of the people that are suffering so bad on the inside are the ones that are out there every day pushing forward, and you think, oh man, this person's got it all together. In my business, we have a person by one of our main leaders. We'll call him Self. And he was up and down. Everybody looks at him like he's got all this money. Oh my gosh, he's the greatest thing ever, greatest speaker ever, and everything else. Then you look at his story. He had to take money out of his kids' piggy banks. He had to scrape by. He fell so many times. But now that he's on top, everybody's like, oh, he's always been there. No, he hasn't. He earned it. And you want to know what he does with half of what he makes? He gives away to needy places. He's not a greedy. He's a very humble man. And he's a very awesome man. We have to remember to be humble in life. We sit there and can ask for all the money in the world. Everybody's like, oh, well, rich. Really? If there was a such thing as too much money, now I can go the other way too, which I will in just a second, but there's a such thing as too much money, really? If there was a such thing as too much money, then how come we haven't cured cancer? How come we haven't cured AIDS? How come we haven't cured MS? How come we have children starving in America? How come we have homeless vets? How come we have people that are suffering, but they're so strong? We have to go back to reality. We have to look at the positive and how great these people are and understand that life's not all about money. Life's about kindness. If you are surrounded, take the top 5 people in your life. This is not my saying, and this is coming from one of my mentors, but it's also coming from the books I read. Take the top 5 of your friends that you hang out with all the time. If all of them are negative, so are you. I hate to say it, yes you are. You don't see it because we never can see what is the obvious. But if you're wondering, how come my life won't change? How come I can't get better? Oh my gosh, woe is me, woe is me. Because your friends, and you won't change your friends, realizing that it's your friends holding you down from your dreams. It is your friends that are holding you back. Every time, it's kind of like our parents. When we're trying to break away from our parents, when we hit that one age, our moms and dads, they discourage us from doing anything that would hurt us. Not because they're intending to it, but because they love us and they don't want to see us fall and trip. But you have to break the ties. You have to fall and trip, and you have to learn on your own. Okay? You cannot count on anybody but yourself. And so if your friends are always negative, always going to the bar 7 days a week, if your friends are abusive to their husbands or wives or boyfriends or girlfriends, and then they try to give you advice, let me ask you this. Would you take their advice? And is their advice worthy of taking? I have seen so many great people out there be rejected for so many different things, all because people decided to trust the negative over the positive, all because they couldn't see the other side. And I'll do a quick story, and I forgot where this one came from. It's not mine either. None of this stuff's mine, meaning I didn't come up with it. I heard it. It was about a warden, and he was on the cell block, and for putting prisoners to death. And every time a prisoner would come, he gave him the option of going through the door unknown, not knowing what's behind it, or going and sitting in the electric chair. Now this is just a short version. So every prisoner that came up to him would go sit in the electric chair because they were so scared of the unknown. Oh my God, what's behind the door? What could be worse than the chair? What could be worse than death? That you're giving me a choice to go behind the door. So one day somebody asked the warden, what is behind that door? You know what the warden said? Freedom. Freedom. So you have to pick death, an electric chair, or the unknown, which end up being freedom. but people would always go to what they trust the most, or they follow those who have been following for so long. I know so many people that get around these negative Nellies that, oh, they got a story about everybody and they got so much negative stuff to tell everybody, and then they go out there and, oh, they got to hang around that person because that person has all the stories, and then all of a sudden they become worried that that person is going to have a story about them, but they didn't understand that because they hung around with them, they take that chance. They take the chance of being their next victim. You know, the what was that say? The alligator and the was it the hare? That's a kid's story where, you know, the alligator will go across the pond and the hare's wanted to get on his back, and the alligator say, "Get on, get on! I won't get." Well, what's the alligator do? Eats it. Why? Because it's its nature. No matter how much that you trust them, no matter what they say to you, they're still going to eat you. So change your friends if they're being negative. You know, if you're one of these people that goes into church because you need your 24-hour fix, religion's not a drug, people. And as the thing I say every night, you know, church is a hospital for sinners. It's not a place to go. You know, if you're going there because, yeah, I'm a sinner. Yeah, God's going to forgive me. Yeah, I'm going to rub elbows with the such and such. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to praise me some Jesus. But then I'm going to go treat people like crap. You might as well just not go to church. You know, here everybody's saying, go to church, it'll change your life. No, don't go to church, because I'm tired of people going to church and judging those that have little because they have more. So we've got to remember to go with the positive. And there is a saying on Facebook, and yes, do use some of these positive, and I love it to death. It made me think of churches I've been to and stuff. A homeless man, and we'll just say a homeless vet. I'm going to change a little bit to my wording. Homeless vet could hear the choir singing. You know, he had his clothes with him. He hasn't had a bath in a long time. His beard's grown up. His toes are clothed and torn. He goes in and he's like, I need to find something more, and I want to just go in. So he sits in the back pew. He goes inside, sits in the back pew. Oh, it's Sunday Mass. So, the ushers came over to him and just said, sir, you need to leave. And he goes, what? And, well, you know, we don't, you know, you just need to leave. You're scaring our parishioners away, blah, blah, blah. So he goes outside, he sits against the wall. We're saying a homeless vet on this one, even though the story's old. But and a man comes up to him and says, what's wrong? Because the guy was almost in tears. He just wanted to go into church to listen to the kids sing. There was no bad. He wasn't a criminal. And he goes, I just wanted to go in. I just wanted to go in. I just wanted to listen to the kids, and I just wanted to go and show my respect to God. I just wanted to go in, and they asked me to leave. And the guy in front of him who's standing over him says, do you mind if I sit by you? And he goes, yeah, sure. And he goes, well, what's your name? And he goes, well, first he goes, that's okay. They kicked me out a long time ago also. And the guy says, why don't you sit down? And he goes, so what's your name? And the guy goes, Jesus Christ. And the reason why that particular story touches me so much, not because I believe in God, not because I believe in Jesus, but because we've gotten away from the meaning of why we do things. We got, you know, if church is a place to go because it's your membership, it's your club, I have no reason to go to that church. I have no reason to pray with those people. Jesus prayed with sinners, I understand that. But when the sinners won't let you in because of how you dress, what your politics are, what your religion is, I think it's terrible. And I think a lot of our leaders need to look at that and see that's going on. They're so busy in front, they forgot a true leader leads from behind. They forgot that in order to be a leader, you have to be a follower first. And I learned that in the Marine Corps. We used to take humps all the time. A lot of people understand what I mean by humps. And one of my biggest things, one of the reasons why I picked up rank, one of the biggest things I hated was I hated doing the marches and the humps behind somebody. You go for miles and miles with a full ruck on your back. You got your rifle. You've got full gear and everything else. And you keep running into the person in front of you because they keep stopping because you're in a single file line for hours. However, the more rank you take on, you start getting to the front or you get to go out to the side. That was one of the reasons why I did it. But you did it because you had to learn from the back first. You're only as good as your slowest person. And the Marine Corps can teach you a lot. So can the military. And those are positive things. It's funny because I got around two of my friends when we were down in New Orleans, and they started reading Bible verses and everything else. They were talking. You know, I know I tell everybody the Bible's a reference book, and I know I tell everybody it's to be interpreted. But you gotta understand, these are everyday occurrences. What's going on in the Bible? It's sitting there telling you different. I mean, think about it. It's got death, it's got drugs, it's got, murder, it's got war, it's got famine, it's got hate, it's got love, it's got peace. Yet we look at it as in where it's our kryptonite. And I think people have lost a lot of their humanity lately. Humanity. They lost their humility. They're not humble anymore. While we were in the Marine Corps, we were always taught in my unit anyway to respect those around you. Respect the country you're in. Respect what is going on. And I think we can learn from that. We need to remember who our heroes are. We need to celebrate those that have died and gone on. We need to celebrate our friends and the people we love. I do go out of my way. I just don't know how to do it with looking like a freak all the time, but I do it to let my friends and family know I really do care about them. I think the world of them. I think they are important. I think they matter. Why do they matter? Why do my friends and family matter to me? Because each person I've ever met in my life has made a difference on me. I have, either whether it's a small difference or a large difference, each one of my friends has, for the good, made me a better person. Now, they might have been bad at one time, and I had made some choices. But without them doing what they did, I would have never made those choices. But I have a lot of friends that also, they're not religious, but they live a virtuous life. They live a life of humble humility. And, if you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars and then try to go around and say, and you're one of the lower class, no, you're not. If you haven't given any of your money or your time to helping a cause. I know people that are broke, dead broke, and they still give to a cause they believe in, yet they don't have enough to give, but they still find a way. You know what? Each time they do, they find a way to eat. They find a way to get the warm clothes. They give a little bit back. When they have nothing, they still find it. And I don't mean the churches. I mean, you could go buy some food and take it to a pantry. Take your kids. Show them humility. Show them what it's like to be humble. Be a leader by first becoming a follower. Who you follow is very important. Who your friends are very important. And if you're around negative people, that's what you're going to be. If you're around positive people, that's what you're going to be. You want to improve yourself, read 10 pages of a good book every day. It doesn't matter. I read an entire book of Willy Wonka, The Chocolate Factory, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator with my daughter. So what about our kids? Everything I told you can relate to our children. Everything I told you can relate to our nieces and nephews. So many people say, well, I have nothing. Yeah, you do. You have yourself. And our kids are watching us every day. If you're a single parent, I am a single dad. All right? My daughter has never known me to be anywhere but by her side. I put my daughter first. I put my God first, but I put my daughter and my family first also. Because how I raise my daughter is important to me. Who she's around is important to me. Her being able to communicate, to not being afraid of being around people, that's important to me. For her being able to get around her friends and somebody being negative and walking the other way, because I taught her, hey, if they're negative, go the other way. If she sees somebody being bullied or picked on, the first thing to do is go tell the teacher when everybody else is just watching. I'm doing my best to be a good dad. And I know there's a lot of great single families out there. We have to take on both roles. But also remember, don't throw your kids in the middle of your problems. Don't sit there and play your kid off of each other. I talked to another person the other day. He's a great father. I've known him for my entire life. But his ex decides to play their daughter against him. And even though he's a strong Marine and everything else, I can see it tearing him apart. Because all he wants to do is love on his daughter. All he wants to do is make sure his daughter's safe, has food, and but instead he's got to get negative from the daughter because that's what the mother did. I also see it the other direction. I also see all these deadbeat dads. I see deadbeat moms. I see people that rather go to the bar than spend time with their kids. I used to hear people all the time, man, I wish I had more time with my kids, yet their kids at home with a babysitter, yet they're wishing for more time with their kids. And don't just have time with your kids, have quality time with your kids. Don't just be there, participate with your children. It doesn't matter what age they are, how old they are. What's important is you're there for them and they know that. You know, if you are there for them, their grades will probably go. There's a study that if you're there for your kids, this is an actual study, that their grades will be better than if you were not there for them. Because when you're not around for your kids, somebody else is going to be. And you don't have a choice on who that other person will be. So it's either you or they get to pick. What would you rather have? And trust me, there are some beautiful parents that I'm friends with. There are some great, upstanding parents. And I think the world of them. And I think it's hard on them. I know people that are struggling, but they still put their kids first. I know vets that would do anything to see their kids again, but because, for whatever reason, they're not able to. So let's remember that everything we're doing, our children watch, our children see. And it's not just when they're around us, whenever they're around anybody. Their brains are sponges right now. If you show that you have a piece of their life and that you have a piece of their soul, they're going to grow up better human beings. You know, there's parents out there that have kids with Down syndrome. And these kids are beautiful. These kids are awesome. And yes, they're a challenge. But God wouldn't have given it to them if it wasn't a challenge. If they could not handle it. You know, there are kids every day dying from cancer. There are kids every day, dying. It's sad. So we must be there for our children. And that being said, what else was I going to go over tonight? Oh. We must make our heroes important again. We must make those that we deem heroes important again. Sports figures are not heroes. Politicians are not heroes. Heroes are the people that give all of themselves and ask nothing in return. That they do so much for others, but they ask for no publicity or entertainment on the side. And we're getting away from that. We need to get back to that. We need to read more to our children. We need to read more ourselves. We need to fix ourselves every day. We have to constantly keep building ourselves up. You know, if you're working in a factory right now, or you're a truck driver right now, or you're on the job and you think that nothing else is ever going to happen in life, then nothing ever will. But if you set goals for yourself, do more for yourself, plan to be a better person, then yes, you're always going to keep moving forward. You're not dead and gone. Keep moving forward. The adventures are just getting started. My name's Jeff Jansen, and I'm just getting started. Today is the first day of the rest of my life. And I hope today can be the first day of the rest of your life, to where you get out there, if you set those goals, to where you're going to go work out. Walk a couple blocks. If you're going to read a book, read a couple pages of a book. Set your goals. Keep setting them higher and setting them higher and setting them higher. Go out and talk to those vets. This weekend, you can go back in my file. I went over to the Illinois Veterans Home like I promised. And I showed you the buffalo and the deer park. But those people inside those homes, we even talked to one. They're beautiful people. And they don't think anybody cares about them. They've lost their way. So have all these men and women with depression and PTSD. But if you reach your hand out to a friend and a family member, you don't know if they're the one suffering or not. But you could actually save their life just by telling them, hey, you're great, I appreciate you. Hey, you matter and you make a difference. Hey, from back in high school, we might have been enemies, but you are my friend today. Hey, I am sorry for what I did in the past. Hey, please forgive me. Whether it's your fault or not, ask for forgiveness so that you can let it go and move on. So tonight, let's remember all of our leaders. Let's remember all of our heroes. Tonight, let's pray for those that are depressed and are hurting, that have lost nieces and nephews and grandmas and grandpas, that are with terminal patients. Let's be with those that just really, really need help. And I have a couple friends that they struggle every day. Not money-wise, just in general, because they just don't feel they're important enough. And what they need to know, what you need to know, is not only are you important, but you matter and you make a difference. Military or not, you matter, you make a difference. Remember that. Burn that into your head. And if that's your starting point to get rid of all those negative people and get rid of that negative stuff on social media and get to turn the TV off and go take a walk, then do it. If you need me to help you and I'll take you dragging, kicking, and screaming, no, 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 do it. If your job, you want to stop smoking today, then do it. Don't let the cigarettes win. Don't let the drugs win. Don't let the negativity win. Where do you start at? You start with yourself. You improve yourself. You make yourself better. You make your brain bigger. You get your muscles stronger. You get compassion in your heart. You forgive those that have wronged you. And you can move on and be a better person for it. Forgive your enemies. Forgive those that did wrong by you. And you're going to find out it wasn't as bad as what you realized. Anyway, that being said, if everybody would join me in a quick prayer, if you're not religious, I understand. Pray to whatever God you pray to. Think whatever you want to think. Send positive thoughts to those you want to send positive thoughts to. But most of all, let's pray and just remember, I'm going to pray for everybody in 2-8. You guys understand, 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines. I'm going to pray for all my military brothers and sisters. I'm going to pray for my team on Legal Shield. I'm going to pray for my mentors. I'm going to pray for my family and my dad. And I'm going to pray for friends I have that they have never done anything for me other than be my friend. And you pray for whoever you want to. But remember, tomorrow when you go out there, and somebody comes up, wants to shake your hand, put your hand out and shake it back. When somebody gives you a compliment, give them a compliment back. When you see somebody trying to lose weight and they're running on the side of the road, open up your window and shout, "You're doing a great job. I'm proud of you. Keep it up. Keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up." When you see somebody beating the drug habit, keep rooting them on. Keep saying, "Go, go, go." When you see somebody going for a job, tell them to go. Keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't stop. Don't give up. Keep pushing forward. And you must encourage these. Hey, you're homeless now. Let's go and try to find you a job. Hey, you don't have enough food now? Let me see what I can give you. Let me go take some food to the food pantry. Let me give some blood so that people have blood just in case of disasters. Do something. But remember what you do. Be humble about it and don't ask for credit for doing it. Don't expect anything in return, and your heart will grow 3 sizes. So to all those single fathers out there, to all those single mothers, you're doing a great job. I am so proud of you. To all those mothers and fathers that have lost children or grandparents, celebrate their life. If you've lost nieces or nephews, celebrate their life. To all those out there that just need somebody, you're important. We will celebrate you. We will be there for you. And thank you for being a hero. And if you ever need a friend, call me. If you ever need a pen pal, write me. If you ever want me to shut up, just tell me to shut up. I'm kidding. I know somebody's gone there and say, "Shut up, Jeff. Don't do it." All right. So let's go ahead and pray because I digress a lot. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear God in heaven, please watch over my friends and family. God in heaven, please watch out for all of our military men and women, both past and present. Please watch over those that have died in the line of combat in peacetime. Please be with those that have PTSD, that they know that they matter and they don't have to take the easy way out. Please make our journeys harder for us, not easier, so that when we get into the end, we knew it was us and you together that made the winning team. Be with those tonight that are getting ready to have babies, that have just had babies, that they know that they're blessed. Be with those tonight that have a terminal illness or disease. Send them a miracle if you can. But be with their loved ones and let them know that this is a test for them to show how strong they can be. Please be with all of our leaders. Please be with my dad and my daughter. Please be with Ray and Gloria Wilson. Please be with Rich Ellerman. Please be with Alan Roman, Brian Carruthers. Please be with Chris Hughes, all these people that are leading us, Darnell Self. Please be with all of the men and women in the military that led me while I was in, officers and enlisted alike. God, please be with those single parents out there tonight that are struggling and they don't know what to do. Please be with the married people that they're not sure if they want to get a divorce or not, that they find a way to work through all their problems. Please be with those today that are making a choice on to give life or take life, that they choose your beautiful ways. God, please be with my daughter when she goes to school, and all of her friends and her teacher, and please send her teacher thankful that she is in my daughter's class and she's protecting my most precious asset, my most precious part of me. Please be with my sister and my brother-in-law and wish her a happy birthday for me, even though it was yesterday. God, please be with our men and women that are out on the roads driving trucks today, our sheriffs, our firemen, our doctors, our nurses, our nurse practitioners, that they understand that they matter and they make a difference, and that we know what they're going through. We know, and we've got their back. God, thank you for the roof over my head, the food in my stomach. Thank you for giving me the chance to try to reach out to people that need your guidance. But most of all, thank you for letting me wake up this morning. Thank you for my friends, my neighbors, and my family. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my daughter's health. And thank you for giving me a chance in life when nobody else would at one point. And God, I'm going to take a couple of seconds so that everybody else can put their prayers in too. Thank you, God. And thank everybody for praying with me tonight. And thank you for being who you are. So tonight, remember, read to your kids before they go to bed. Ask them what they're going to do this week. Set goals with your children. Maybe sit down and write a letter with your children. Make a video for your kids tonight and put it somewhere special for someday if something happens to you, they always know you love them. Tonight, get your kids to laugh at least once. Play a board game with them if you can. But most of all, do whatever it is you can for these children. They're beautiful kids, and we love each one of them. So if there's anything else I missed tonight, oh yeah, Terry Jones came in 23rd, 22nd. Everybody make sure to wish him a great job. He did a great job out on the river this week for his tournament. So anyway, that being said, thank you for your time, everybody, tonight. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you for praying with me tonight. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. And have an outstanding week. Have a blessed week. Have an outstanding week. And remember, the more you do for others, the more positive you are, the more you'll get in turn. And that right there is worth every bit of it. So, love you guys. For all you great parents out there, keep being great parents. For all you that are sad, it's okay. For everybody else, God bless. I will see you all tomorrow at 9 o'clock at night. And I still have to pick out a new book to read to my daughter. Anyway, I will talk with everyone soon. Talk to you later.